Okay, members, thank you. Good evening, members, and welcome to the ordinary meeting of the Town Council, and welcome to anybody who's watching online, of residents or public in general. May I ask first thing, if you could turn your mobile phones off or on silent, and try not to use them while the meeting is taking place. I'll be very grateful for that. Thank you. Right, move straight on. Apologies.
We have apologies from Councillor Young, who has a family commitment.
Right, thank you. The rest of us are here. Great. Are there any declarations of interest on any items on the agenda, members? No, take as a no, thank you. There's nobody here, so there's no public participation for item 3. Item 4 even, minutes of the council meeting. To approve the minutes of ordinary meeting of the council held on the 11th of December 2024. Members, any questions on those minutes at all? Okay, so can I have a proposer to accept? Councillor Hetherington, seconder, Councillor Austin. All in favour, please show. Thank you, that's carried. Right, item 5, which is finances and grants. Item 1 of 5, to receive a report of payments from the 1st to the 31st of January 2025. The council is asked to note the payments authorised by the town clerk and RFO to a total of £7,270.70 and approve the payments above the threshold delegated to the town clerk and RFO, which is a total of £36,482.88. Members, any comments at all? Councillor Green.
We note and accept as appropriate.
Seconder for that, Councillor Nixie. All in favour, please show. Thank you, that's carried. Right, item 2 of 5 is to consider and approve the draft 2025-2026 budget and precept as recommended by the Financial General Purposes Committee. A report regarding the tax base is also included within. And at this point, I'm going to pass over to the town clerk and subsequently to Councillor Hetherington. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Chair. The precept must be confirmed with TDC tomorrow. The deadline was actually the 28th, but they were happy to wait until tomorrow after this meeting. The council can revise the budget throughout the year, but the precept can only be set once. There's been 3 budget reports that have been reviewed by the Finance and General Purposes Committee over the past 4 months. Some underspends and overspends remain for the current year, affecting the balance to be carried forward. Expenditure for the current year has been slightly overestimated to try and avoid any a shortfall at the start of the next financial year. The tax base is increased by 394.73, which is a 3% increase. Well, it was actually a 4% increase, but bearing in mind TDC expect to be able to recover 1%. We've still got an additional 3%. The current Band D council tax is £85.59p for the year. The proposed budget in front of you has a Band D council tax of proposed at £88.16, which would give us a precept of £1,127,248, which is an increase of 3%. On a Band D property, that would be an extra £2.57 a year. Some key notes as to increases in the budget is inflation readjustments, national insurance increases. Events grant budget was increased by £12,000. Funding is committed to Ramsgate Day, Ramsgate Carnival and Miss Ramsgate. A new reserve fund for the Custom House repairs has been set up. The capital projects and asset acquisition budget has been increased. The provision of seasonal accessible toilet at the Western Undercliff has been included, and the community services grant increased by £10,000. So today you were asked to confirm the budget and the precept. Please may I note that when we come to give the budget, the precept figure to TDC, it needs to be divided by 9. So occasionally there's a couple of pence or a couple of pounds variance between what's decided by the council and actually what TDC give us.
Thank you. Councillor Hetherington, would you like to do your
I'm
little
just
bit?
going to go through a few items of interest in relation to the budget. So a few points we've got here. We had the unexpected news that TDC expects to reclaim 1% less council tax this year due to reduced support from KCC. Fortunately, our tax base has risen sufficiently for this reduction in income not to be put on the ratepayers. Where it becomes apparent in the current financial year that there were under and overspends, next year's budget has been adjusted to reflect the real costs this year. In the current year, there were a number of outstanding projects carried forward from the previous year. It will probably be necessary to do that again, completing some projects such as the lighting up of the obelisk in the next financial year. The money is already approved and the projects will progress unless the council resolves for them to cease. As we turn our thoughts to devolution, it is likely that funds will be required in the future to fund these changes. There is not a current devolution budget, however, in future years this may be required. The key changes listed by the town clerk add up to far more than the 3% increase to the precept. This is primarily due to underspending and savings from the current financial year, which will be carried forward to the next. Every budget has been carefully reviewed to identify potential savings, and spending has been monitored throughout the year, leading to these underspends. As in previous years, we have slightly over budgeted across all areas to prevent mid-year shortfalls. And finally, may I please reiterate that the 3% increase to the precept only equates to an additional 2.57 pence per year to a Band D property. I think that's all I've got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And at this point, may I just say thank both Councillor Green and Councillor Hetherington and the town clerk for the work that they've done here to get the budget absolutely, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very pleased with that. Councillor,
I mean, I asked this question at TDC and the increase. So there's three whammies that I think are impacting on everybody who employs people, sadly. So national insurance increase is up, I think it's from 12.8 to 15, I think it was. And the lowering of the threshold, well, it was quite a significant lowering. And then the increase in the living wage. So TDC were able to break those two down. But what they then said was that the first two, although that wasn't confirmed in the finance meeting, the first two would be met by government grants. Although at the finance meeting they said that wasn't going to be forthcoming, or it wasn't all going to be forthcoming. Have we got a figure on what each of those is going to cost us as an extra? I can remember the TDC one was the increase in the living wage was going to cost us an extra 95,000, which I don't think any of us would disagree with, an increase in the living wage. But I just think it would just be nice to know what the impact is in each of those areas. The costed impact.
I can answer one for you.
What?
We don't have anybody here on the living wage.
Good. I didn't.
Above the living wage.
I didn't think.
So we don't have anything on that, but.
So that impact is zero.
I can't answer.
We won't be compensated.
We won't.
No.
Sorry, David.
We won't be compensated.
Right. We won't be compensated. I don't think TDC are going to be either now, but
I thought they were.
it'd be interesting to have those figures just to see what the impact is. If that can happen at a later date, I don't mind that. But I know it was nearly £500,000 for TDC.
I think it's quite minor in comparison.
Well, as a relative percentage, it's probably similar to TDC. But for me personally, I'd just like to. it also gives us an understanding, because the follow-up question I wanted to ask TDC was what impact do we think this is going to have on local business, and do we see people having to shed labour or not being able to? That question hasn't been answered. So for me, it's trying to have an understanding of how it impacts us and how it may impact the businesses out there that employ people.
Well, I think that's obviously a difficult question to answer. We've got businesses like we've all seen that a company who are currently down in Albert Parade are going to take the old boulangerie on, which
It's great.
that isn't affecting them obviously as to what they've got. So
Good news.
it's difficult to assess that, Councillor Wing. I think for anybody to assess that, there will be some, I have no doubt, and especially the smaller, tinier businesses, when they maybe have 2 staff and it just drags them over the limit. I'd imagine that would have a serious effect. But I think the bigger companies or whatever will be able to swallow that up. But anyway, I think that if we answered everything.
Yeah, just those figures I'd be interested in those figures. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Nixie?
I think, sorry, completely different from what Councillor Wing was saying, but I mean, looking at this, we all know that nobody wants to put any money on anything, so we understand that. However, I do think Ramsgate Town Council really does deliver, a lot of bang for its buck type of thing. When you think of all the things that because it's public money coming to us that we give to the public effectively, aren't we? So, that's what we're doing. And I think that's the best part about our budget. I can see that really clearly with what we do, especially when we were enhancing, beautifying areas. The lighting this year, for the over the Christmas and winter period has been outstanding, and it's made a massive difference. People really talking about that. If we can get the obelisk up and running, unfortunately these things, cost. And I think looking at what we're asking and looking at what we can do with it, I think that's really credit to us, do you know what I mean? And not just like Ramsgate Town Council in before. So I'm all for this.
Just leave it here. Sorry, thank you. Sorry, I'm just asking Jan Clark a question. Members, anybody else want anything to say in relation to it? So I need a proposal in that case for acceptance of the report and for the way forward. Councillor Hudson and Councillor Nixie. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. That's carried. Right. Item 7. Oh, sorry, item 6. It would help, wouldn't it? We do 6 first. Just testing, see if you was concentrating, that's all. Committee minutes, point 1 of 6. Draft Planning Infrastructure Committee meeting on the 8th of January 2025. Members, any questions in relation to those minutes at all? No, so can I have a proposal for acceptance? Councillor Nick, please, secondly, Councillor Austin.
Just a note, please, for the other respective committees to approve.
Oh, just a note?
Yeah.
Oh, is it, we're just noting? Okay.
Oh, no.
Noted?
Noted.
Okay. Item 2 is the draft Asset Management Committee meeting on the 22nd of January. Members, any questions on that? Councillor Green?
Just to note it.
Oh, right. Noted. All members agree? Okay, thank you. Let's do it that way. And the draft Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting on the 22nd of January. Members, any questions relating to that? No? Noted. Noted. Thank you. That's done. Now, item 7. Confederation of the Cinque Ports, and I will ask to receive a note of the minutes from the standing joint committee meeting on the 4th of January of this year. Now, we haven't had these. Talked with the town clerk. We thought, as we are, and looking at the minutes, I think we need to get the mayor there, or the deputy mayor there at their confederation. I'll pass you over to town clerk.
Yes, the minutes haven't been brought to you before, but I think this is an important thing that we're part of, and so putting the minutes on the agenda just keeps you informed. It's a body that Madam Mayor is heavily involved in, and gives us a friendship and a relationship with our neighbours, which it's really quite special. So this is just to keep you, by giving you the minutes, just to keep you an update on what the Confederation is up to.
Members, any comments on it at all?
We were an arm.
It matters not. It matters not.
We're a limb.
Right. You can have an arm or a leg. Doesn't really matter, as long as it's a limb. So, members, sorry, Councillor Etherington, yes.
Are we proposing that the mayor's going to attend this regularly with the deputy mayor, that this is going to be a regular feature? Yep, because it's important.
I think that's something for, obviously, we're coming to the end of the current mayor's term. And I think whoever is the mayor next year, I think we'll have that conversation with them and the town clerk, get the list of the dates of the Confederation meetings, and then see if they can attend those. Yes. So I think that would be good. Councillor Shonk.
The Confederation is the oldest in England, and unfortunately, if you go to these Cinque dinners and dues, it's very declining because a lot of past mayors don't turn up. So it's a big concern because it is a great body of people, all Cinques, the ancients and the limbs. So every time I go to these meetings, I go to as many as I can, and that's England. So it's quite an important thing. A lot of history that goes into this. So that's good news.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I would just say I don't think there are any other Cinque Ports confederations. I don't think there are any other Cinque Ports.
It was set up to defend the coast.
It was, yeah, it was. So there is that one. Anyway, thank you for that, Councillor Shonk. So, members, could I just ask you to note this as well? Do members agree? Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, item 8, Remembrance Sunday service and parade, and I'm just going to pass you over to the town clerk.
Thank you, Chair. The Remembrance Sunday Service and Parade and Armistice Day activities are a significant event involving hundreds of participants, and we haven't reported back to you or given you any information about this for a long time. And so this is an opportunity to bring to your attention what goes into organising this event, and to ask you to confirm that this is how you want to continue. This is the plan that you approve.
Remember, it's as you can see, it's quite detailed, and our current member of staff, Kim, is brilliant. Gets it all organised. The difficulty that we have each year, certainly since I've been a chair here, is that there is I won't say a clash, but there's a difference of opinion between certain factions of the former armed services, Royal British Legion and Naval Association, how these things should be done. It's not their events. It's not their events. If you see in there, you can see we've taken advice from the
So we have
what are they called? I can't remember now.
Well, we have two parade commanders.
That's it.
Who are really knowledgeable and experienced.
And so taking that is how we work, and that is we take their advice and everything like that. And we will be organising it how we do, and if the Royal British Legion or the Naval Association doesn't like it, then they don't have to turn up. So it's as simple as that. So, but we hope that they do, because they bring a lot to it, an awful lot to it. So I hope they can both put their little quabbles away, and that we can just get on and remember our fallen in the service. That's the most important thing. Councillor Green.
What's the Kohima, Chair?
Do you know? Now there is a wind that comes from the Sahara that is very similar to that, and it does similarly sound like that. Yes. Kalima, that's what it's called. But I don't know, it's a short answer.
Thank you, Jane. I just thought we'd bring some reality back to this.
You wonder where we was going with that, didn't you? I certainly don't know, unless the town clerk does.
You'd recognise it if you heard it, but I would like to try and remember it right now. May I send it to members after the meeting?
Please do.
Kahima.
Have you got it on your phone?
I was just going to Google it, yeah. It's difficult.
Members, please.
It's difficult.
Got members speaking, sorry, thank you.
Sorry, with this difficulty that you mentioned with certain sectors of the armed forces, is there any way that we can mediate to assist in
It happens
this?
every year, Chair.
Yeah. We have done that. I've met with them, with the town clerk, and they just have a different point of view. You know, it's understandable. One's got one way of they want to do things, and the other's got the other way, and they kind of clash, but they will get on. They will get on. Probably won't talk to each other, but they will get on.
Yeah.
I noticed that where there's a different assembly point, is that proposed in future in the car park of the Ramsgate? Right, okay.
Yes, this was, this was the route from a couple of years ago.
Right.
We tried a different route this year at the recommendation of some people, but but we then got quite a bit of criticism from other people about it. Whereas the route that's proposed, this has been confirmed by our two parade commanders that they can manage this. Our technician in charge of the marshals has confirmed that he can safely manage the marshals. We can deliver this route safely.
Right.
It was too small a meeting place for all of the marchers to gather and get in line and everything. So that was where the issues were.
Okay.
I've just googled Kahima and it says it's the capital of the Northeast Indian state of Nagaland. I don't know how you laminate that either.
Well, there you go. Councillor Osborne.
According to what I looked up, it's the epitaph that says, "When you go home, tell them of this and say for there tomorrow."
Makes sense.
A memorial at Kahima where there was a battle.
Okay.
Fits within the capital of Nagaland.
And if you look up Kalima, you'll see it is a win. That affects the Canary Islands.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, members. What was the recommendation? Sorry, mine's all mixed up.
Confirm the arrangements as for.
Council was asked to note the above information and confirm that this is the event should be organised in 2025 and subsequent years. Can I have a proposer? Councillor Hetherington, seconded Councillor Nixie. All in favour, please show. Thank you. Right. Item 9 is the Ramsgate Community Heritage Forum, and I'm going to pass you over again to the town clerk to receive a report from her, which you've got in front of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, it's the Ramsgate Heritage Building Community. There's been a bit of play around with names on the members. And this was an initiative of Heritage Lab CIC to try and bring together the groups within the community who have a building that a heritage building that they're trying to refurbish. So we are at the table for Bradford House. And the group met once last summer, and we held the meeting at Bradford House, and then we've met again a couple of weeks ago here. And it's nice having a cup of tea and talking with the people in our community who are going through similar projects to us, just giving each other an update, and possibly people are giving each other ideas. Bob Porter comes from TDC to give an update on the historic buildings that TDC is working on. There isn't a firm membership or terms of reference, but the idea is that you do have to have a historic building in Ramsgate that you are repairing or refurbishing. The next step is the group's been asked if it would like to have, instead of a terms of reference, a memorandum of understanding which sets out the purpose of the group. What I did raise at the group meeting, my concern would be that by signing this, it doesn't entitle the people at the table to be using the town council's name. You can't be saying we're working with the town council on this project or the town council supports us. That would require specific requests that would come to the council.
Members, I'm just going to say my little bit first. Sorry. My own personal view is that I don't think that we should be signing up to anything in relation to what we share with this group. Great that the group is there, great that we're taking part in it, but I don't think the council should sign up to anything in relation to it, because I cannot see the purpose of that. There's this memorandum of understanding. They don't actually say, there is bits in it, but it doesn't mean anything. And why would we sign up to something that doesn't actually mean anything? So that's just my view, all right? But members, over to you. Councillor Makinson.
I'm just going to totally agree with you. I don't see why we can't go to this group, but why we have to sign anything, I have no idea.
Quite agree.
So,
Councillor John.
I think you're quite right there. I think you'll be rubber stamping someone else's ideas and efforts, and it could probably backfire on a lot of people in Ramsgate. A lot of people got some good ideas, but it's not going to happen. Not under Ramsgate Town Council without them. If it's such a wonderful idea, they would need to come to see us.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Councillor Crittenden.
From the description that's been given, it sounds like a historic renovation coffee club. I'm not sure why it needs a memorandum of understanding.
Councillor Wynne.
I think it's a good idea to me, because sharing common problems and issues is, but it really concerns me that there's no real terms of reference, no aims and objectives, and also no boundaries of the work, which really frightens me. So be part of the group, maybe evolve into something more settled in the future, but at the moment.
Anybody else want to?
No, great idea. Who's running it? I know.
Well, the town club.
Rob Kelly, the Heritage Trust, is the initiator and organiser.
Okay. Oh, the answer. Councillor Dixie, you haven't spoken. Councillor Green, then.
I suppose that we're very keen for us to be part of this, because sharing information is an excellent thing. But I see no relevance to be signing anything because of the town council. I think if we were going to sign something, I think it's something that we should put forward, not something that's put forward to us, this particular group. So I would suggest that we didn't. You can word that better as a proposal if you like, but that's my proposal.
Thank you. Councillor Green, did you want to come in?
Well, just to say, I wouldn't like to feel that we're ignoring this.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Because I think it's something that could be useful to us and them.
I don't think that they're going to.
Us being involved in it.
Yeah, very much so.
But signing up to something.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed, I think, the way people are nodding, that we should be part.
We've been on a few days, but we ain't jumping into bed.
No, not yet. Councillor Crittenden.
Can I just check, is everyone in this group, the secret debts, the tunnels, everything else, also looking at signing an MOU?
That is the process, but whether they will or not.
I was just checking.
Councillor Hudson.
I think this needs to remain informal, but the wording, where it says that you're pledging, if you sign up to something you're pledging to, there is a Ramsgate Council. If something comes out of this meeting that needs to come to council, I think we can look at things as and when.
Yeah.
I think it's informal, it should remain informal. It's a brilliant idea. I really love the idea that we share it, that we all share and joining with ideas.
Absolutely. I'm going to propose from the chair that we wish to remain part of this group, but we will not be signing the MOU. Seconded, councillor Nixie. Members, all in favour? Thank you. And members, that concludes the business this evening, apart from letting you know that the date and time of the next meeting is the 26th of February at 7 p.m. Thank you, members, and good night those who are